Hello, y'all. Once again, it is midnight, so that means I'll be reading 2 chapters in the book of Isaiah instead of 1. So that means chapter 10 and 11 for tonight. Okay. Arrogant Assyria. Woe to those who legalize injustice and write oppressive legislation. You rip away the rights of the poor and prey upon widows and orphans. What will come of you on your day of visitation when disaster comes from afar? No, just have a light. Here's it. Sorry, I thought of myself to get distracted. Okay. To whom will you run for help? And what will you do then with all your great wealth? You will have no option but to cringe among the captives or fall among the corpse of the slain. Yet despite all this, his anger has not subsided, and his hand is poised to strike. Woe to arrogant Assyria, the rod of my anger! The club I place in the king's hand is my fury. I am the one who has sent him against a godless nation and ordered him to attack a people who anger me. I sent him to take the spoil and seize the plunder and to trample them down like dust in the storm. But he has no clue what he's doing, and he has something else in mind. He plans on annihilating many nations and thinks, after all, I have made my executive commands into kings. Calneh will be no different from Karchim, whom I destroyed. Karchish. I'll destroy Hamath as it did Arpad, and Samaria like Damascus. Since I was able to seize kingdoms full of idols and images more powerful and more impressive than those of Jerusalem and Samaria, won't I do the same thing to Jerusalem and Samaria and their idols? When the Lord has carried out his purpose on Mount Zion and Jerusalem, he will punish the king of Assyria. Because of his overbearing arrogance and unrestrained pride, he boasted, "Look what I have done by the strength of my hand and by my wisdom. See how clever I am. I've erased the borders of nations and plundered their treasures. I have been like a mighty conqueror, subduing those in strong fortresses. I seized their wealth as one who found an unprotected nest, as one who gathers eggs that had been left behind. So I gathered the wealth of the world, and the young birds could neither move a wing nor open their mouths to peep." God decrees judgment on Assyria. Speaking of which, Assyria, you are so arrogant and you're going to get taught a lesson. See? It's in the next one. God decrees judgment on Assyria. Is the axe greater than the one who wields it? Is the saw greater than the one who cuts with it? Can the axe strike without a hand movement? No. Can a lifeless wooden cane walk all by itself? Therefore the sovereign Lord Yahweh, commander of angel armies, will send a devastating plague among Assyria's proud warriors. Yes, the glory of Assyria will be burned and go up in smoke. For the light of Israel will become a fire in their midst, and the Holy One will become a flame. He will consume the thorns and thistles of the Assyrian king in one day. The splendor of his forest or orchard will be completely destroyed, like a dying man fading away. The forest will have so few trees left that even a little boy could count them. Restoration promised. In that day neither the remnant of Israel nor the survivors of the house of Jacob will lean any more upon the one who abused them, but they will lean fully on the faithfulness of the Lord Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel. Yay, learned the lesson! A remnant will return, the remnant of Jacob's tribes, to the mighty God. Though your people Israel were as many as the sand on the seashore, only a remnant will return. Destruction has been decreed, and it will be overflowing with righteousness. For the Lord Yahweh, commander of angel armies, will complete the destruction he has decreed upon the whole land. So hear what the Lord Yahweh, commander of angel armies, has to say. My Zion people, do not be gripped with fear over the Assyrians who oppress and abuse you, as the Egyptians did long ago. After only a brief moment I will end my indignation against you, and it will fall upon them to their destruction. The Lord Yahweh, who commands angel armies, will wield his whip against them as when he struck Midian at the rock of Oreb. And once again he will rise his rod over the waters as he did in Egypt. In that day the Lord will remove the heavy burden from your shoulders and break off the yoke of bondage from your necks because of the heavy anointing upon you. The Assyrian army attacked Aeth. They passed over into Migron. They stored their equipment at Michmash. That's actually a fun name to say, Michmash. They went through the pass and spent the night at Geba. Ramah was alarmed and trembled. Those in Gibeah, the city of Saul, ran for their lives. Cry aloud, O daughter of Gilman. Listen, O Larish, poor Anoth. Medmenhay is retreating. The residents of Gibeon are hiding. This very day, standing at Nob, he will shake his fist at the mountain of the daughter of the house of Zion, at the hill of Jerusalem. Behold, the sovereign Lord of angel armies is about to cut off the branches with terrifying power. He will cut down the exalted heights of the high, and all lofty will be brought low. He will slash the thickets of the forest as with an axe, and Lebanon will fall before the mighty one. Chapter 11. The Branch of the Lord. The cut-off stump of Jesse will sprout. The fruit branch will grow from its roots. The Spirit of Yahweh will rest upon him, the Spirit of extraordinary wisdom, the Spirit of perfect understanding, the Spirit of wise strategy, the Spirit of mighty power, the Spirit of revelation, and the Spirit of the fear of Yahweh. He will find his delight in living by the Spirit of the fear of the Lord. He will neither judge by appearances nor make his decisions based on rumors. With righteousness he will uphold justice for the poor and defend the lowly of the earth. His words will be like a scepter of power that conquers the world. With his breath he will slay the lawless one. Righteousness will be his warrior sash, and faithfulness his belt. Christ will subdue all things. Then the wolf will be subdued and live with the gentle lamb, and the leopard will lie down with the gentle lamb. The young calf with the ferocious lion will be together, and as a shepherd drives his flock, a small child will guide them along. The cow and the bear will graze alongside each other. Cubs and calves will lie down together. The lion, like the ox, will eat straw. The nursing child will play safely near the rattlesnake's den. The toddler will stretch out his hand and shine light over the serpent. On all my holy mountain of Zion nothing evil or harmful will be found, for the earth will be filled with the intimate knowledge of the Lord Yahweh, just as water swells the sea. The God who restores. On that day the root of Jesse will be lifted up as a miracle sign to rally the people. Gentiles will diligently seek him, as we do, and his resting place will be glorious. On that day the Lord will extend his hand a second time to restore the remnant of his people from Assyria, Egypt, Pathros, Ethiopia, Iran, Iraq, Syria, and the coastlands of the sea. He will lift up a banner among the... How did you do that, Agatha? Nations, and will gather the scattered Jews, which is actually a ministry going on that's doing that. It's pretty interesting. You should look it up. And assemble the outcasts of Israel from the four corners of the earth. Then Ephraim will be cleansed of envy, and those who are hostile to Judah will be cut off. Ephraim will no longer be jealous of Judah, and Judah will no longer be hostile toward Ephraim. But they will swoop down on the slopes of Philistia to the west. Together they will plunder the people of the east. They will rule over Edom and Moab, and the Ammonites will obey them. The Lord Yahweh will dry up the gulf of the Egyptian sea. He will raise his hands over the Euphrates, and with the might of his wind he will split it into 7 streams that can be easily crossed in sandals. Then there will be a highway leading out of Assyria for his remnant people to return, just as there was for Israel when they were set free from Egypt. Alrighty, and that is chapter 10 and 11. And let's see, Friday. We'll read chapter 12 on Sunday. Have a good night, y'all.